Welcome to Gracefully Graying. I'm your host, Attorney Henry Gornbein. Whether we're 8 or 80, many of us are faced with challenges that go beyond the normal challenges of life. Today on Gracefully Graying, I am very pleased to welcome as our guest Khodr Farhat, who is an advocate for those who are facing disabilities and life challenges. Khodr, welcome to Gracefully Graying.
Thank you, Mr. Gornbein, for having me. It's a pleasure to talk about such an important topic. So, big shout out to you and everybody that helps you in putting such an awesome and beneficial show together. And shout out to your viewers and listeners.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure having you. First of all, why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about who you are and your background, so that you became such an advocate for those who are challenged.
Sure. My name is Khodr Farhat. I'm 30 years old. I was born blind back on June 8th of 1993, and that is in Beirut, Lebanon. I went and I attended a private school for the blind and disabled. Then I came here as an immigrant to the U.S. back in 2009. I came in as a ninth grader. So I attended Lincoln Park High School. Then I attended Henry Ford College. I pursued my associate in special education. And then I moved on and I attended the University of Michigan, where I pursued my bachelor's degree in political science. And I chose political science and public policy because from a personal experiences, from a personal ambition to reach more equitable and equal lifestyle and society for all, I attended, this program, and I have been an advocate and public speaker for the past 11 years. And I'm beyond happy to make a slight difference in people's life locally in Dearborn, Southeast Michigan, the state of Michigan, and even beyond that. So that's briefly about myself, and I'll be more than happy to take any questions and move forward.
I appreciate it. Khodr, why don't you tell our viewers about some of the disabilities that more and more are facing as we are aging?
Absolutely. People need to know that the older that we're getting, the more chances that we are going to encounter or suffer from a certain disability. Now, our senior citizen population suffers from different categories, if I may call it. We have physical challenges, we have mental, behavioral, emotional, and medical. I would like to let them know, though, that the only key to start off and to combat these challenges is by recognizing them, asking for help, reaching out to resources. And the number one category that our senior citizens suffer from is we have the mobility. More than 68% of our 80 plus year old senior citizens suffer from a mobility problem. Either they can't walk, they can't take care of their own, and then it comes after that the mental, the cognitive, like dementia, Alzheimer's, memory loss, and then goes down to the hearing loss and vision loss.
As we get older, our bodies are like machines and seem to go, and we start falling apart more and more. I can speak with experience, but anyway, what are some of the ways that you suggest to help cope with some of the challenges and disabilities that we face as we are aging?
Absolutely. I mean, again, number one, to recognize that we have an issue, on hand. Number two, to ask for help. Number three, we have to see, this is the key too. This is a collective effort. The senior citizens cannot get over it by themselves. The government cannot do that either on their own. This takes collective efforts between, the person himself or herself, doctors, medical staff, insurance companies, legislators, government, community, and society, all at large. Believe it or not, it takes a village, because we need to set up a friendly and inclusive setting when it comes to housing. Usually when we age, our mobility is going to get less, our abilities are going to get less. Therefore, we need to make sure that our senior citizens are living in an adequate housing environment, that they are having access to good exercising environment, that they are eating healthy, going to the doctors, staying on top of their social activities. Otherwise, they will stay lonely, which will lead even to worse consequences like depression and anxiety.
What about transportation issues? I mean, I'll digress for a minute by virtue of the fact that, I've grown up in the metropolitan area, and we have one of the worst transportation systems of any major metropolitan area. When I was a kid, there were streetcars, and those were taken out and actually sold to Mexico City. and we have no real mass transit. So how do you deal with that if you are physically or mentally challenged as far as transportation is with Khodr?
Yes, big blessing to city, the city that first, the first kind of transportation tool that is a car. But then, as you said, it does present and impose a lot of challenges. However, we have resources. I would love to start off by highlighting that every healthcare insurance company does provide medical transportation to their members. So when I used to work for Meridian Healthcare, as their community engagement coordinator, I used to help a lot of their members to schedule their medical trips from their house to their doctor and vice versa. Also, we have other governmental, based, supported companies like Smart, DDOT, Metrolift, and then those who are able to afford. Obviously, we have Uber and Lyft, or if they have family members that can take them back and forth. But also, every city has its own city built-in or funded program for transportation for the senior citizens and those who are differently challenged or disabled or abled, because people call them different names. That you can, call your city, your public works department, and I'm pretty sure they have something. So there's always a way, but we need to get our hands on those resources and tools.
Khodr, what about medical issues as we are aging?
Yes, medical issues. I would like to make sure that also that senior citizens communicate properly with their care coordinators, because care coordinators, their major job is to keep up with everything regarding updates, coverage options, benefits, and services that they can utilize to make sure that they are living in a healthy manner. Medical challenges, we have cancer, we have Alzheimer's, we have dementia, we have mobility issues, we have hearing loss, memory loss, vision loss. And I can assure you, from not only from a personal experience, but also, from a common sense, that once we lose or we suffer from one of these issues, our ability, our independence will be hindered. So these are the top issues that our senior citizens suffer from, and I highly encourage them to stay in touch with their PCP. Even you cannot believe how many senior citizen does not even have a designated PCP. So getting in touch and keeping in touch with their PCP and healthcare insurance company, that will be the best shot.
Khodr, what about governmental services that may be offered that a lot of seniors may be unaware of?
Yes. Senior citizens, again, as they age, and I'm using this not in a negative manner by any means, but a lot of them, they wouldn't be more in touch with technology. And as you know, nowadays, everything is digital. Almost 100% of what we do is virtual or digital. Like, it's no longer how it used to be, pen and paper. Therefore, a lot of these brochures or informational sessions are not being held in person or even mailed to the yeah, like via mail to the household. So therefore, a lot of them do not get a lot of this information, like about food stamp or Medicare, or Social Security Disability, or SSI or retirement, or different services. So the best shot to go about that is not only to reach out, to the SSA, which is a Social Security Administration. You can also reach out to the Area Agency on Aging. Again, they are all over the state. Every region, every city almost have a branch or office. They can inform you on the utmost recent changes, and remaining socially active by attending senior related seminars and workshops and informational sessions that will give you more information about all of that. But these are, in a nutshell, the services that we have available.
Khodr, how does one fight and deal with some of the stigmas that are associated with some of the challenges and disabilities that many people face?
Yeah, stigma is the key here. Overcoming the stigma means you will overcome a big chunk of the struggle or challenge, because people often stigmatize everything. Like, even myself as a 30-year-old person, just people look at me as blind. They always instantly think that I cannot accomplish much. So I can imagine for someone who is 50 plus or 60 plus with a different ability, that it's going to be even harder for them, on all levels. So we have to stay positive. We have to stay active. We have to educate. We have to provide the different example or sample of someone who is differently able. When people have a certain way of perceiving a certain lifestyle, just because I'm a senior and I have a different ability, and while we are working our best and doing our hardest to prove the opposite, I'm pretty sure we will send a very strong message. So staying active, eating healthy, working out, going beyond the challenges. And don't get me wrong, I know it's hard and challenging, but we have no other choice.
Khodr, you raised some very good points, and you mentioned the word educate. How can we educate more people about some of these important issues?
Yes, that's where the government kicks in. That's where the legislators kick in. That's where the advocates and great individuals like you guys kick in, because all of what I'm talking about, it takes a village to achieve. Not one person, not one entity is able to get all of that done on their own. Therefore, every city, every county, every state, every healthcare insurance company, every doctor, every TV show, honestly, believe it or not, senior citizens themselves, they have to spread awareness. And what we're doing now, that's one tool, that's one perfect, great example. We have to educate the public about the importance of taking care of our senior citizens. They have to go through even the preventative measures. They have to know how to eat healthy. They have to know what is good for them, what is not, the importance of working out, where to go for housing, to make sure that they are staying on top of their medical, and health related, appointments. Having a PCP is very vital, and a lot of senior citizens do not have that assigned. Doing their annual checkups, their medical checkups, social activities, working out, staying active. When you do all of that, that's an awareness by itself. When they see you in the gym, that's an awareness. When they see you walking outside, that's an awareness. When they listen to a radio show or a podcast, or any show such this manner that discusses topics like this, that's awareness. When healthcare insurance companies pay specific, you know,
Khodr, give us a lot of food for thought. What are some other suggestions that you have for us to improve our lives and deal with some of these challenges?
yes, all of this combined. Again, not being shy about it. Ask for help. Having a strong spirit. Stay faithful, and utilize all the resources available.
Khodr, you provided a lot of food for thought and a lot of wonderful advice, and you are really an admirable person because you've been dealing with challenges all your life. What are some final thoughts that you would like to share with our viewers before we sign off?
Sure. I appreciate your compliment. I know that some people might ask, like, okay, why he is talking about issues that are far off from his age, at least for now. Well, I can tell you that the same challenges I face, the senior citizens face, as far as stigma, as far as overcoming barriers, and everything in between. But the final thought is, again, remaining positive, always motivated to achieve, go beyond what people expect of you. Honestly, personally, I'm talking now. I know myself, I know my abilities, I know my weaknesses, I know my strengths. I keep on working on strengthening myself and overcoming my weaknesses. And that is the only thing. So always reach out for help. We are here to help you guys out. And
Wonder, this is great. I mean, don't take no for an answer, and live life fully, which is our tagline. So, Khodr Farhat, I want to thank you so much for being our guest on Gracefully Graying. I want to thank our viewers for watching Gracefully Graying. And of course, I want to thank our sponsors for making this podcast and so many others available to our audience. Thank you so much.
thank you for having me.